So, hey Julia. I was testing out my stream, testing out my game here, and figuring out how I wanted to stream it and make it fit on my screen and whatnot. And it was working the way I normally do it. But then my monitors kept flickering and I couldn't get them to stop. So I have to put it on my main monitor where my stream stuff is, and I have to turn my other monitor off. So I can't see my stream right now. I can't see the back end of it. I can see the front end of it because I have it on my phone. And it looks like my chat is working. Yeah, so that's what I was doing there. I was looking at it. I'm watching the game on the monitor that's in front of me as opposed to the one that's over here, so I hope where my camera isn't super weird. Being here, I like my webcam up in the right hand corner so that it looks like I'm looking at the game when I'm playing, but it's still up in the right hand corner, but I'm actually looking this way. It's not that strange, but it's just a little different. But I also want to figure out where I want to put my webcam so I'm not blocking too much of the screen. So I'm not... Right now it's covering up a little bit of the title. But I made it as small as I felt like I could. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't block too much. It might block the character's head every once in a while. Okay, I'm gonna turn my heat off. It's actually been pretty chilly today, so I had my heat on for a while, but I'm gonna turn it off because I'm a little toasty. Okay, as always, let me know if the audio is off or if anything is not quite right with the stream that you're uncomfortable with or whatever. Just let me know. Hello fellow witches and wizards, my name is PhoenixGinny and welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Testament of Sherlock Holmes. I remember very little about this game. I played it once. And that was back in 2015, I think. Was it? Or was it before that? 2000 is the year... It was the year my sister got married. I played it that summer. It's not summer. That spring when I stayed at her apartment. I was really, really sick, actually. I had a bad stomach bug for like 2 weeks. I was sitting on her couch with nothing to do, and so I was playing video games. I should have been studying. I was in college at the time. It wasn't 2015. Maybe it was 2014, 2013. Should have been studying, but I played Sherlock Holmes instead. It was spring break. It was over spring break. That's why I was at her house. Anyway, I remember it being hard, but I did play a little bit a couple of weeks ago. I felt like playing Sherlock Holmes, and I felt like playing a game I wasn't familiar with, so I only played about 2 hours of it. And it was actually not hard, what I played. It was actually pretty simple. As we go, we're playing the newer and newer games. I went from older to newer, so the newer games are actually a lot better at handling puzzles and stuff. That's not to say that they don't give us hard puzzles, it's just there's hints and skips. So you could totally skip the puzzles if you don't want to do them. So, that's good. But I remember there being some pretty hard puzzles in this one. But we'll see about that. But I remember this game being a little different than than the other games, especially in storytelling. Like, you know, the Sherlock Holmes games, movies, etc. are usually based at least somewhat off of the books, right? Well, this one feels especially uncanon. if that makes sense. Like a lot of the games and the movies aren't canon. They usually take the characters and the setting, and that's about it. They completely do whatever they want. They tell whatever story they want with the characters or whatever, and that's fine. This game just feels extra not canon. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say why. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I mean, like I say, most of the games and the books and whatever, they're not canon, and they don't follow the book series strictly, mostly because these games at least I know, take place after Sherlock Holmes is supposed to be dead, so they pretend like he survived the fall, you know, and Reichenbach falls, so so in that way they're all in canon, but this one just feels especially not canon. But that's not to say that it's a bad game. I don't remember it being terrible, but I've only played it once, so I don't know what that means. It's not my favorite. But I honestly don't remember a whole lot about it. But it should be fun anyway, because I don't remember hating it. Maybe. My stomach bug was, it was yikes. It was, my stomach, let me tell you, my stomach has never been the same after that. I had IBS after that. Like, now, like, it was because, like, I've been told that if you eat ramen every day, it can mess with your stomach. Ramen's not good for your gut. And I was in college. I was very poor. Literally, ramen is what I ate for two meals a day. That's what I ate in college, was ramen. And it messed up my stomach forever. My stomach will never be the same. Like, now I get sick regularly from that point on. And I don't eat ramen anymore. Needless to say. Anyway, that's not why we're here. Have I read the book series? No, actually. I read, like, chapter 1 of the first one, and it's not like it's bad. It's just, Sherlock Holmes is not a book that you sit down and read casually. It's something where you really have to focus and pay attention, because the English and the language, if you're reading an unabridged version, which I always do, I never read abridged versions of anything. It's like reading Jane Austen. If you don't have the energy to sit down and read every word, you're not going to understand. It's not something you could just skim over. It's because they speak from a different time, so, like, they use words you're not used to hearing, and it's just hard to understand unless you're sitting and paying attention to it. I just haven't had the chance to actually sit down and pay attention, but no, I haven't. So, like, I'm trying to think of where I get my information from. How do I know about Sherlock Holmes? See, I don't know a ton, but you can kind of glean from everything you read and everything you play, everything you watch about Sherlock Holmes, because there are definitely constants. There's definitely common themes, and there's a lot of things that the movies and books do take literally, that they do actually do well. I'm not saying that they don't do non-canon stuff well. There's things that they are accurate about, is what I'm trying to say. But no, I haven't, and I really would like to. I should. But anyway, we're going to start a new game, and like I said, I already played the first 2 hours of it, so I already kind of know what I'm doing from the start. Whoa. Yeah, my camera's going to block a little bit of that. The children are a little cringy. Just beware of it. I don't know. Something about the animations and the acting is just kind of weird. Just go with it.
Ow! Ah! What's this? No. Ba ba boop boop. La la la. Ooh. Oh, look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map. No, I don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle. And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a
10
visit
years
to the
after the
Marquis
last
of
game.
Conyngham.
Because Jack the Ripper was 1888. Graphics are already 10 times better.
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis
think
that
that's
we
a
have found the
different
Samoan
voice actor
necklace,
for Sherlock
and
as
very
well.
much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course, in the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
Okay. So, sorry about that. My cord is down by my feet, and so when I swing my feet up, I knock it over. I hope you can still hear me. Here, let me check. I hope you can still hear me. Yeah, okay, good. Whew. So that's happened before, where I've completely messed up my mic by knocking it over. The way they do... Like, the way they do the puzzles in this game and the way they do everything in this game is actually the way they're going to do it from now on. It's different from the way they've done it before, and it's going to be like this in Crimes and Punishments as well. I don't know about The Devil's Daughter because I haven't played that yet, but I assume it'll be like this or similar. Also, this is the tutorial, which is something they've never really done, but this first section is just a tutorial, and it's pretty clever the way they do this. Okay, so we can use WASD to move. Look at the broken showcase. Oh, I wonder, can I change? I can change perspective. Awesome. Look at the broken showcase and click on it.
This window was cut with a diamond, A clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace
Next
was.
to it.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
You always interact with the left mouse button. Left, yeah. After a clue is examined, the icon will turn green. Please move Sherlock Holmes near the left window. You should see 2 clue icons simultaneously. Near the left window. This one? Okay, 2 of them. To enter examination mode with multi-zone, press the left mouse button. You can switch cursor between items by using WASD. Look at both clues now.
A mark, undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
Go to the chimney. You'll see the hand icon on the magnifying glass. Take it by clicking on it. You can open your inventory by clicking the right mouse button. While playing, you can always activate any of your items from your inventory by rolling the central wheel of your mouse. So we can click right mouse button, or we can use the scroll wheel, which is nice. Near the piano.
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano. These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
Press R or middle mouse button to switch to first person mode. Yeah. Use WASD or keep left mouse button pressed to move your character. Keep pressing L shift will make your character run. Press R to switch to point and click mode. Oh. To move the character, just left click on the destination you want to reach. To run in the desired direction, double click somewhere. To switch back to third person view, press R. To make a character move faster, press and hold L shift. Good. Left shift. Alright. Okay. So now we can look around. Does it want me to look at something in particular? I feel like it's not giving me any clues. To make a character yeah, I know, I did that. Okay. By pressing space, you activate Sherlock Holmes' sixth sense. It will show you a hint not yet discovered. You can now search for other clues in the room. Okay, thanks.
These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
That dinging sound means that enough time has passed, I can click to use another clue. So if the space bar gives you clues about what to do and where to look and stuff.
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draft screen and waited until he was alone in the room. Strange, there aren't any prints, yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
Nice lemons.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants. Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once? Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started. The chest wasn't opened. The necklace wasn't in it. Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
Can anybody guess who the thief was? Betcha you can't.
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, you're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time. Ah,
Right.
but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
The only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
Dr. Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt, a
monkey?
Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson, a poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now. Marquis, here is your necklace, intact.
Got an achievement.
Just a little wet.
Mr. Holmes, this brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box and
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times?
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
There, the necklace is in its box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
Pretty sure it's pronounced marquis, but it's a French word. So maybe in England it's pronounced marquis, but I'm pretty sure in France it's marquis or marquis. Sorry. Maybe. I have no idea what it even is.
This morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
There's an autosave feature. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Globe Explorer. Sherlock Holmes at the home of the now it's spelled differently. Marquess of Cunningham. Yeah. The investigation is a fiasco. Can you guys read that? Nah. Hopefully my face doesn't cover it up too much. I'll read it anyway. Yesterday, the celebrated detective Sherlock Holmes was invited to the manor of the Marquess. Is that how they pronounced it? Of Cunningham to supply his conclusions following his investigation into the disappearance of the disappearance of the priceless Samoan necklace. It should be recalled that the lady called in the detective after the police appeared flummoxed in the face of the astonishing circumstances surrounding the theft. Indeed, the valuable piece of jewelry disappeared while the door to the room in which it was displayed was locked. The alarm was raised by the servants, alerted by the room's service bell ringing out during the night. When the Marquis, as they spelled it differently this time, the only person in possession of the key, opened the door, everyone rushed in to extinguish the fire that had been started before it was noticed that the necklace had mysteriously vanished. The most astonishing factor is that no thief was found within the room, and all the exits were closed. As usual, Mr. Holmes resolved the case in the twinkling of an eye, and the jewel was recovered. I will not waste my time in the various explanations as to the disappearance, because I prefer to draw your attention, dear readers, to the last surprising developments in the case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself, the Marquis noticed that the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Let it not be forgotten that the Samoan necklace, although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls. Pearls which are found only in a small part of the lagoon of the archipelago of the same name, and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of crystal of aragonite that they are made of. The priceless necklace, brought here at the beginning of the century by Lord Fenton Arwick, the Marquis's grandfather, and an eminent explorer, should have been part of her daughter's dowry for marriage to the Duke of Newcastle. So I'm going to place a simple question. Should we not, in all open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for a fake by Mr. Holmes himself? I am aware, dear readers, that the brutality of this question, without any preconceptions, may certainly shock some of you. But the facts are there, and our thoughts and judgment should not be confused with the regard which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time that the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes's methods. Do not forget our counter-investigation into the escape of Arsène Lupin, the Frenchman who took malign pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family, and who, by lucky chance, managed to elude capture by Mr. Holmes. Remember that one? Yeah, we let Arsène Lupin go because he was a fun opponent. I don't know. Sherlock does not work for the police. He does not even work for justice. He does this purely because it's fun. So he pretty much makes decisions because he feels like it. So, I mean, he's not necessarily a good guy. So, I mean, and he never claims to be either. So, I mean, maybe, I mean, like, I doubt that he would actually, do the things that this newspaper is suggesting, but they have right to point a finger at him. That's what I'm trying to put. Trying to say. The point I'm trying to make. At the time, we did not hesitate to consider a tacit complicity on the part of the latter. For those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it is quite apparent that his character traits show more of the opportunist and brilliant usurper than that of altruistic defender of the law. I would draw the attention of our readers to the suggestion that the description of this gentleman provided by his friend, Dr. John Watson, through his stories is a long way from the truth. Indeed, his behavior is derisive, contemptuous, haughty, and offensive towards the police, it is, and particularly towards Inspector Baines, replacing Inspector Lestrade, who is currently convalescent. I don't know what that word is. I've read that many times. I don't know what it means, though. Convalescent. And a habitual abuser of narcotics such as heroin and cocaine. That's true, too. That's true in the books as well. So I've heard. Like I said, I've never actually read them. I don't know where I get my information, but I know people who have read them, and I've heard that he does actually use narcotics in the books. This is why, dear readers, it is important to disregard Sherlock Holmes' good reputation or to form an objective opinion and to ask the pertinent questions. Was the necklace that Holmes found already a fake? If that was the case, why did he not mention it, and why should he insist on placing it back within the safe himself? He did ask if he wanted it authenticated. Has the detective some unsavory interest in this affair, or is it a simple case of deceit in order to steal the extraordinary Samoan necklace? It is up to you, dear readers, to form your own opinions, but you can count upon your humble servant to continue revealing to the public the doubtful methods and motivations of one who, in the future, I shall not hesitate to call Sherlock Holmes the usurper. To be continued. O. Farley. And we have another story to read. The ancestry of Prince Woodville recognized. The Lords Committee, set up in order to verify Prince Woodville's legitimacy, made its conclusions public last night. Without surprise, the prince's title was confirmed. As rumors suggested, in return of an unfavorable opinion by the committee, the prince would have abandoned any claim to the inheritance of the present royal family, as well as any political activity. Oh, I just remembered. Oh man, I just remembered that Prince Philip died. Man, that hit me. It's weird because I don't know the guy and like I'm American, but if you don't know, the Queen's husband died last week. He died recently. He died 99 years old. Man, that guy's ancient. It's been around my whole life. It's one of those things where you imagine, like the royal family, you imagine they're gonna live forever. But they don't, so it's just sad, something I remember hearing about. Anyway, the young man, now age 28, read history of law at Oxford with a diploma in philosophy. He spent most of his childhood in France, where he acquired a considerable knowledge of the culinary arts. For those who might think this is a handicap when integrating into British high society, let me remind you that he is also outstanding on the polo field and plays the bagpipes quite beautifully. Finally, we should add that lately he has become actively involved in charity work and aiding the poor. J.B. Good. I imagine that's going to be important for something later. I don't know.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know,
Who
Watson,
cares?
that wherever glory walks,
He
jealousy is
doesn't care.
bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines, the door's open.
Oh, he's listening in.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. How did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second-to-last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes.
The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes returned it to its place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait? I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young woman's dowry.
What a lovely marriage.
Yeah, right? When marriage hinges on something material. If you don't have that necklace, I don't want to marry you. That's the way things were back then, though.
Holmes, forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to
Among
examine
the rich,
fake
that is.
jewellery?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector.
Be my guest.
Very well.
Okay. Let's look at the necklace. It looks normal. But then you look up close and it's like, oh, wait. What's this?
These 3 pearls are of poor quality.
And
This
one-
pearl is a different color.
This one's a different size.
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here.
It's not
too
a
many
good
defects.
fake at all.
This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector. You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
All right, Holmes.
Okay. Which desk? We could look around. Click on things.
Have you found my map of London?
No.
The harpoon that was used to kill Black Peter. A horrible murder.
And that's actually a murder we're going to investigate in the next one. Which is weird, but okay. A little out of order there. This is Watson.
Here is where I write my stories about Holmes's cases. And I've got work to do.
We're gonna look through your stuff first.
Female anatomy. I should put this book somewhere else.
Why? What does that mean? I don't want to know what that means.
Hospitals and dispensaries in London. General practitioner. That won't be of any use to me.
I don't know. I don't know what.
And this is how my dear friend and colleague treats his clients' letters.
Let's go in Sherlock's room. forehead looks tiny.
This bust was used to fool Colonel Moran during the case of the empty house.
Ooh, the Holmesian. Achievement. It's Queen Victoria. Yeah, I know. It's gonna tell me that several times. I don't need to move faster. The character actually moves pretty quickly in the game. In this game, which is nice.
The work table, where Holmes analyzes things. Holmes's homemade analyzer.
Tabby.
I have found your map.
There's the map. Alright. Diocese of Knightsbridge.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes. Yes, of course. But come in.
What has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God. How horrible. I haven't called anyone. How did you know that?
We're just that good.
Holmes, look!
The
This is
Bishop,
the man we
appallingly
intended to come
mutilated.
and talk
How
to him, but
dreadful.
He's dead.
Mutilated. And killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency didn't own anything of great value. I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down, please, Doctor.
Doctor? But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We are here at the request of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave, and not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Reverend, when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue our investigation, then you shall have the answers to all of your questions.
Out of the question! I don't even know you! I'm going to call the police, whether you like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper. Watson, are you taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one, therefore we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen, and indeed it would seem that the Bishop had nothing of any worth to take.
Very good, Watson. Do continue.
Make the right deductions based on the facts you have. Investigation into the Bishop of Knightsbridge's murder. Wealth. The Bishop didn't own anything of value, not even in his safe. Okay. Alright, so now we're gonna look around.
I cannot leave now. Watch where you're putting your feet, Watson. Have you noticed these prints upon the ground?
Well, yes, those muddy marks.
See here, Watson. Footprints can often provide more vital information than the very best of informants.
Yes, if you know how to make them talk, that is.
It's child's play, Watson. We will begin by excluding the contaminating prints, which are yours and mine from where we came in, and those of our dear Reverend who was so impatient to call the police.
Question 1. How many criminals were there? And question 2. What did the footprints reveal? Okay, so we're gonna look.
A fragment of stone. Peculiar. Well-worn shoes with an odd pattern on the soles. Hobnail boots like those worn by laborers. This print came from an expensive pair of shoes, and it seems recent. It is not a laborer's shoe. Size 9. Size 9. Size 9.
How many criminals were there? Looks like there were 3.
Perfect. We now know that there were 3 crooks.
Okay. One man joined them who was already in the room. One man left the room wearing different shoes. One man was carried so as not to leave footprints. All men left the room jumping on one leg. I think it means one man left the room wearing different shoes.
Strange but true. One of the crooks was wearing a different pair of shoes when he left here. Therefore, we have 3 men
He
who
is a
came
bit
in
sus.
and left again. But one of them was wearing a different pair of shoes from the ones which he came in with.
So, all we have to do is look for a workman who likes Italian shoes.
Okay. Shoes. One of the murderers left in different shoes. What wasn't in the way? You gonna do something, or okay?
A surgical
That took a
scalpel
while.
covered in blood.
Scalpel.
Closed. The veranda door hasn't been forced. Strange. Reverend, might I have the key?
No! You have no authority here. Let me call the police.
Perhaps we should listen to him, Holmes.
Perhaps you should let me get on with this, Watson. This door has not been forced. Where does it lead, Reverend?
To His Excellency's room. There is just a mattress and a stool.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
The bishop's bedroom. It is very austere. Nothing in particular here. It is impossible to get out. The picture of Peregrine Maitland, commander of the infantry brigade of Her Majesty's Guards at Waterloo.
The Bishop of Knightsbridge has the same name as his ancestor, an illustrious family.
I am missing some information.
We're missing some
Reverend,
information.
I'm missing something. An implement with which to open this chest. Could you tell me where to find it?
No! Go to the devil!
What are you
Yikes.
afraid of, Reverend? What is inside the chest?
I'm not afraid of anything. In fact, I do have the necessary implements, but if I have to give them to anyone, it will be to a representative of the law and no one else.
Okay.
A whip?
No. It is a discipline for self-flagellation.
Self-flagellation.
It's a cilice designed to bruise the person wearing it. The bishop wore it as repentance. This very pious man must have had the habit of mortifying his flesh as a means of repentance.
Which is kind of
This
obnoxious.
metal rod is for fastening the chilice.
Yeah, that's something that they do in old-fashioned religion. Is, they would hurt themselves. They actually did it a lot in the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages too. During the Black Plague, they believed that God was cursing them, and so they would actually whip themselves continuously, trying to earn God's forgiveness. Which, if you're, if you believe the way that I do, you know that that's not really how it works. It's actually quite sad, because Christians believe, well, these are technically Christians too, but Protestants believe that, what are they supposed to believe? That Christ suffered on our behalf, meaning we don't need to suffer the way that he did. He suffered for us. Why must we whip ourselves also? He already paid the price for our sins. But
There is blood
Anyway.
on this paperweight.
There is.
A bottle of whiskey. I can make out fingerprints stained with blood and dirt.
Why is the whiskey there? Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, my dad likes to watch the History Channel, and I watched a documentary on it.
A
actually.
broken bottle of whiskey. However, the Bishop of Knightsbridge was known for his sobriety. It would seem that the brutes who tortured the bishop to death were intoxicated with alcohol.
Unless His Excellency has a secret.
A broken phial and blood near the neck.
What a strange smell. Phew. Chemical components, I think.
Alright, get into this guy.
A broken bottle of
Oh,
whiskey.
we did this.
However,
Where did that? Already looked at that one. Alright, look at this guy. Which is kinda icky.
you can see by his expression that he suffered terribly.
His mouth is covered in blood, and I can make out strips of skin between his teeth.
His chest has been lacerated, I would say, with a very sharp and fine blade. There isn't any doubt the wounds on the bishop were administered with this scalpel.
The fingers have been crushed and violently struck. His forearms have been ripped, pieces of skin have been torn off. What do you think, Watson?
I'd say that he was eaten alive. Yet I've noticed a curious degeneration of the skin tissue around the wounds.
My dear friend, everything points to this man having gnawed at his own forearms.
That's
What
unbelievable,
would make him
Holmes.
do that?
His stomach is covered in scratches. Quite evidently, they weren't made recently.
So, these wounds were not made by his murderers. The fingers have been crushed and...
I feel like the rope is important, but I guess not. This man was
A
tortured
piece of rope
by all
that was
kinds of
used to
different
tie up that
methods.
poor man. These burns are terrible.
This poor man was tied just below the knees.
To stop him from walking, certainly, but mostly to free his feet.
Yeah, icky.
His feet have been burned.
My first impression is that he wears a size 9 shoe.
You? But what does it matter, Holmes? My God, Holmes, this man was horribly tortured.
Yeah. Why?
A finger.
And a finger.
Apparently, it doesn't belong to the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
How
And it's
dreadful.
not his.
Something is missing here.
Oh, yes? And what might that be?
His shoes. Watson, his shoes are missing.
Oh.
This stove is filled to overflowing.
Alrighty. Is that everything? Let's look at the deduction board. Black. Bishop's shoes are missing. One of the murderers is a member of the clergy. One of the murderers left wearing the bishop's shoes. The murderers threw the bishop's shoes away. One of the murderers left wearing the bishop's shoes. One of the murderers sells shoes. The murderers are poor. One of the murderers came back for his shoes. The murderers are poor. Maybe. Veranda. The veranda wasn't searched. The murderers were looking for something specific. The murderers got the wrong person. The bishop took the murderers by surprise. The murderers were looking for something specific. The bishop's murderers were hired by someone. The murderers searched for the bishop's shoes. The murderers wanted to steal from the bishop. The bishop's murderers were hired by someone. Okay. Chest. The murderers were unable to open the safe. Torture. The victim was savagely tortured. Penance. The bishop was mortifying himself. He was used to pain. The bishop resisted torture. The bishop punished himself too severely. The bishop couldn't stand being tortured. The bishop resisted torture. The murderers came here to kill the bishop. The bishop's murderers got what they wanted. The bishop's murderers didn't get what they wanted. The bishop's murderers didn't get what they wanted.
Perfect. It is evident that the Bishop of Knightsbridge's killers were after something specific, and that they did not find it. Reverend, I shall ask you one more time. Open the chest. The item they were seeking must still be inside. It is unlikely that they will let this matter rest. They will most certainly return to finish what they started.
And I'm telling you once more, the chest is locked and shall remain so.
Very well. We have reached an impasse. You are a stubborn man, Reverend. Watson, accompany our friend to the police station and return with Inspector Baines. Baines and no one else. I shall wait for you here. Go. Alone at last. Now I can continue my investigation.
Okay. I don't know what else we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go
I
in here.
need something.
Can we use the
This
pin?
lock should be easy to pick.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. This puzzle's easy. We're just gonna make this shape here. And this button, reset, close. Eventually, I think you get a hint button and a skip button. Okay, so this one's straight, this one down, this one up, and that one up.
There we are. It is simplicity itself. There isn't anything much in this room. It must be used as a reading or meditation room. An ink stain, quite fresh. This stain is just on the edge of the rug. Let's see. There is nothing on the floor, yet the ink must have soaked through the rug.
The rug must have been moved.
This inkwell was tipped over recently.
Yeah, but it should have fallen on that part of the rug, but it fell over there, so the rug has been moved.
An ink stain. The ink stain on the floor comes from the ink on the rug, but they are not in the same place. Someone has moved the rug recently. Apparently, someone wanted to hide this statue. This horse resembles a large chess piece. There is a message underneath this statue. Let's see.
What a lack of imagination. Use your passion for chess. The last square on which the knight will place himself after having covered all the others will be the right one. I love you.
This message was written by a woman, but for whom was it intended?
How do you know?
Interesting, this chess game. That is curious. There is something strange on the floor. Certain stones have been marked out, just like a chessboard.
Just like a chess.
That is curious. I need something.
Okay, calm down. Okay, so it's a puzzle. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. I'm sorry. Sixth Sense gives you a hint. I thought it was going to give us instructions, but we know the instructions. Is you have to make knight moves on every square without, going over squares you've already done. This has been done. This actually makes me think of the last season of Big Brother. This was the head of household, because they did something with this concept for the head of household to determine the final three. I think it was the final three. If not the final four. Anyway, I did this puzzle. It took me a while to do, but I did figure it out, and I think I can remember how to do it. You essentially just want to keep away from your previous location as much as possible, I think. This might take me a couple tries, though.
That's not right.
Yeah,
Start
no.
again.
No. I think there's gonna be a skip button. Maybe there isn't a skip button. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly. No. Maybe. Oh, probably not. No. That's not gonna work.
That's not right. Start again.
Close though. I'm pretty sure this is how you start though. Am I doing this the same way I did it before? I think I might be doing it the same way I did it the first time.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Start again.
No. Close. So close.
That's not right. Start again.
Oh, that was so close. That was so close, though. Oh, that wasn't right, was it?
That's not right. Start again.
Wow, that was garbage. Alright. That one's not right either.
That's not right. Start again.
Oh, there's the skip button. Thank God. I don't need to skip though. I've done this. I did this. This is how I started, I'm pretty sure. I think I did it. Maybe. That's the only one I can do there. Yeah, I did it. Ta-da!
This last piece should be the good one. It will have to be pulled free. I need something.
24th April, my love, what a beautiful spring, and what a marvelous day, our dear youngest child's birthday. Every moment is so precious as our child blossoms, and without a doubt he will soon be talking. I am sure that his first words will be for you. He misses you so much, as do I. Are you sure you cannot get away on Sunday after Vespers? I thought that... 14th September, my darling, I know that you think I am insistent, but we absolutely must legitimize our union. We cannot live in sin all our lives. 3rd March, rest assured, my dear, that I understand your position is not easy, but have you thought that ours, the child's and mine, and I cannot allow our child's future to be compromised. Think about it, my love. What is so-called scandal next to the well-being of our family? We must become husband and wife legally to form a real fam.
A packet of letters addressed to the Reverend. They were written by a woman who mentions his illegitimate children. Their affair isn't official. Perfect. I have you now, my wayward Reverend.
Ooh, drama. What? No, I'm trying to uncheck it. Okay. Good. So, we've discovered that. But I think I'm going to take a break before we continue. This auto-saves, which is nice. Nothing's broken. Yeah, it's fine. Good. Cool. Okay. Sorry. My stream is like, from the back end, it's broken. Like, the preview screen is black. It says it's live, but it's only been going for 15, it's stuck on like 15 minutes and 17 seconds. It says connection's great, and the chat's broken too. There's like no chat. But I can see it right here on my phone. I can still read chat on my phone. For whatever reason, I don't know, my live stream is going fine. It's just from the back end. YouTube is a little broken. I don't know. But, I don't know. That's okay. We're gonna keep going. Okay. Also, I will remind you that if you're joining us for the first time, hi. Please leave a comment. This is live, so you can talk to me live. The comments to your right, unless you're on your phone or something, then it's down below. Please leave a like on the stream as well. It helps YouTube that you like it, and it'll share it with other people so I can get more people to watch. And if you'd like more content like this, click subscribe. I've got all kinds of Sherlock Holmes games on my channel now. All kinds of playlists. Check them out. Live stream. You can watch the live streams if they're still available. But you can definitely watch the edited versions of them. I have playlists all ready for you on the channel. All the games up to this point I have done, and you can watch those. They're a good time. And other stuff too. I have Nancy Drew, I have The Sims, I have a bunch of other stuff on my channel as well if you're interested. Click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be notified the next time I upload and the next time I go live. I will be going live tomorrow as well for my Storytime Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube for reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and discussing it, reading chapters 4 and 5? 2 and 3, 4 and 5. Yes. We're reading chapters 4 and 5. Yep. And then I'm streaming again on Thursday. I stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next Thursday, I'll be streaming The Sims 4, Nifty Knitting, and we'll be building the honeymoon house for my Sims. Because my Sims are getting married in my Let's Play there. So join me for that. Also, follow me on Twitter. Link in the description, I believe. I believe I linked in the description. That's where I give information and if I cancel streams or whatever. But yeah, let's get back into it. I knew it was going to trigger a cutscene. That's why I didn't go forward.
Ah, Watson, you were gone a terribly long time, and Inspector Baines isn't with you.
I'm afraid not, Holmes. We were unable to find him.
Dr. Watson would not allow me to contact any inspector other than this Baines. What manners! I am a man of the church.
My dear Reverend, I notice that you are a chess lover. I trust you will excuse me, but I am never able to resist the appeal of a half-finished game.
You are an expert at chess. Very well, then. What do you want now?
As you might have guessed, resolving your small chess problem has allowed me to discover some very interesting letters.
Very
Letters?
interesting.
What do they say?
Reverend,
Scandalous
why hide these
letters.
letters here and run the risk of the bishop finding them?
Holmes, what's in the letters?
Not now, Watson.
Where else could I have hidden them? My own chambers are too austere. They could offer no cover. I knew, however, that His Excellency, may he rest in peace, would not notice my game.
The contents of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's chest interest me greatly. Give me the elements you hold, Reverend.
Out of the question.
Well, too bad.
With the bishop no more, you are therefore the apostolic director of the diocese, are you not?
Well, yes, but only until someone else is appointed.
I am certain that the Honourable Bishop of York, whom I have the privilege of knowing well enough for him to listen to what I have to say, would recognize your qualities for the post.
If I receive new responsibilities, it will be through my faith and devotion, nothing else.
Right.
I am a gentleman, and it would distress me to be obliged to pass this correspondence across to your superiors.
Holmes, I know that the end justifies the means, but allow me to express some reservations about how you are proceeding.
You say you're a gentleman, but I hear nothing but the words of a blackmailer. The stems that you are looking for are scattered about this room. Manage by yourself. You have no right to search here.
Wait. Oh. That's new. How long has that been there? Oh, I could have chosen the other option?
These traces reveal that the thieves tried to open this chest.
Wait, there's only 3 of them. We need more than that, right?
You have no right.
What? See, when I played this the first time, I clicked the last option. Because I was afraid I didn't want to be a blackmailer. But then I clicked the last option and I thought, oh, maybe we could do all the options. That was just the last one. And when I play games, I like to do everything. So I was like, okay, next time we play, we're just going to go through all the options. But apparently, you can't. It's either one or the other. And I wish I'd gone with the other, because I feel like we get the solution with the other. There's only 3. We need more.
I need something.
Yeah, we're
impossible
missing
to
some.
open it.
Here. I'm gonna go back to our previous save. We're gonna redo that.
Ah, Watson, you were gone a terribly long time, and Inspector Baines isn't with you?
I'm afraid not, Holmes. We were unable to find him.
Dr. Watson would not allow me to contact any inspector other than this Baines. What manners! I am a man of the church.
My dear Reverend, I notice that you are a chess lover. I trust you will excuse me, but I am never able to resist the appeal of a half-finished game.
You are an expert at chess. Very well, then. What do you want now?
As you might have guessed, resolving your small chess problem has allowed me to discover some very interesting letters.
Letters? What do they say?
Reverend, why hide these letters here and run the risk of the bishop finding them?
Holmes, what's in the letters?
Not now, Watson.
Where else could I have hidden them? My own chambers are too austere. They could offer no cover. I knew, however, that His Excellency, may he rest in peace, would not notice my game.
The contents of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's chest interest me greatly. Give me the elements you hold, Reverend.
Out of the question.
Okay, the first one you're supposed
With
to
the
talk
bishop
about.
no more, you are therefore the apostolic director of the diocese, are you not?
Well, yes, but only until someone else is appointed.
I am certain that the Honourable Bishop of York, whom I have the privilege of knowing well enough for him to listen to what I have to say, would recognise your qualities for the post.
If I receive new responsibilities, it will be through my faith and devotion, nothing else.
Okay, so we'll go with threat.
Do you understand that you are the prime suspect in this terrible murder?
What? But that's ridiculous.
Think for one moment, who profits from this crime?
Not me.
I think so, yes. With the Bishop of Knightsbridge no longer here, you are now the apostolic director of the diocese, are you not?
Yes, until another incumbent is appointed, but
A position which should logically come to you. The police will not overlook that.
they will never believe you.
But of course they will. Do not forget who I am, Reverend.
You are odious. Here are the stems that you were looking for.
See? Now
have
he's just
one.
gonna give them
Evidently,
to me.
as I always do. What are you able to tell us about the Bishop of Knightsbridge's last days? Did anyone come to visit him? Did he seem worried, anxious? Do not omit
So I guess
the
there are
smallest
right
detail.
answers.
His nephew came to see him yesterday at His Excellency's request. I found this visit a little peculiar because the young man rarely visits his uncle.
Do you know why that might be? Were they on bad terms?
I don't think so. It's rather a consequence of his work. The young man is employed within the archive section of the Royal Library, which doesn't leave him with a lot of free time.
Do you know the reason for his summons?
No, but the conversation was very heated. It only lasted for a few minutes and ended with the nephew in a terrible rage.
Interesting.
I've answered your questions. Will you now let me contact the authorities?
I'm afraid not, Reverend. Not just yet. All right, now we can open the safe.
Okay, see, now we don't have to look for them ourselves. He just gave them to us. Okay. Alright, so, this puzzle is very popular in puzzle games. It's in Nancy Drew like a handful of times. You have to put all the pegs on the board with only one in each column, row, and diagonal. They can't repeat in any column, row, or diagonal. Start there. And then here. 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 There. Oh, no. Alright. Okay. Where was it here? Okay. We already tried that one. Not that one. No. Okay.
Now I can open the chest. Here we are. I am eager to discover what remarkable treasure could justify such an act of barbarity.
Extraordinary.
This chest is impenetrable. How is it possible? No one other than the bishop should be able to open it.
You open the chest with
wasn't that
disconcerting
hard.
ease, Holmes.
I've seen and heard quite enough. This time you won't stop me.
Catch him, Watson.
What the?
But why?
Run, Watson. Hurry.
Did he steal something
He's
from
escaped. I hope that your motivations are founded, Holmes. I don't much like skirting around the edges of the law like this.
It is annoying. Let's leave without delay.
What have you found in the chest, Holmes? What in there is so precious for these men to commit such terrible acts?
The Reverend was telling the truth. Nothing important was locked inside the chest, apart from a few religious
I think
items
he's
which are
lying. I
hardly
think he
worth
stole
stealing.
something from the chest.
So, we
and
haven't
we don't
made
even
any
know
headway.
what it is, because
Perhaps
it's
the
like
police
a special
will.
reveal at the end.
By the time the
I think
police
we're supposed to
arrive,
believe that
we shall be a
Sherlock is
long way
bad
from
guy
here,
in this
Watson.
one.
We are leaving.
I think Sherlock is supposed to look bad in this game. Okay, we're leaving. Where are we going? Home?
We have crossed London at a breakneck speed. We could have knocked someone over, and naturally I had to pay the cabbie out of my own pocket.
Watson, stop complaining. We have to analyze the clues found at the bishop's house.
Okay. Analyze the clues.
I have cut a small piece off the rope. That should be enough.
Okay, we're gonna get pincers.
A lot of fragments of black stone are wedged into this rope. Their color seems unnatural, but they are too small for me to examine them. Black and damp earth. This rope is only worn on one side.
Okay.
I can't do that.
Alright.
This fragment of stone is very smooth, and it seems to be of a peculiar quality. I shall have to strip it with one of my products.
Acid.
This stone appears to be the...
Oops. Dang it.
I can't do
I
that.
did that the first time too.
I can see something.
Okay.
I can't do that. This stone is granite, covered in black paint. The fragments found in the rope and this piece of granite come from the same place.
Okay.
There is something written on this scalpel. I should clean it. I can't do that. I can't do that.
You can't.
Ah, I can make out WCCH. What do the initials stand for? How many hospitals are there in the Whitechapel area, Watson?
If we count public dispensaries, enough to keep us busy for an entire month. Did this scalpel come from a hospital?
Yes, as the initials WCCH engraved upon it show us. We must think on how best to deal with this. We do not have the time to investigate every hospital in Whitechapel.
Yum.
Black and damp earth under the nail. Interesting. Tooth marks, rather deep ones. I'd say of incisors and a canine. Fragments of skin, a phalanx. This finger wasn't cut off, it was ripped off. I must compare the samples of earth that I found.
Bite marks on this severed finger. I am afraid of the significance.
The thieves didn't get what they wanted. When they were faced with the bishop's refusal to cooperate, one of the gang shook his finger at him to indicate that he was responsible for his unfortunate state.
And the poor man, whose head was the only part of him not bound by ropes, bit the finger violently enough to sever it. An uncommonly savage act.
Watson, I am certain that when we have explained the reasons behind this sudden bestiality, we will have revealed a larger part of the mystery.
Know that if you are making comments and I'm not commenting on them, it's probably because I can't see them because YouTube is broken. Just in case. Just in case I'm missing your comments.
I must compare the samples of earth that I found. And if I mixed this earth with another substance... I can't do that. I can't do that. Now it must all be stirred. The samples of earth taken from beneath the fingernail and from the ropes originate from the same place.
How do you know?
It took just a little water to analyze the consistency. The soil has retained its moisture, even though there hasn't been rain in London for over a week.
This soil could come from the bank of a river, or somewhere where the evaporation is slower. A mine, perhaps, or a trench.
The banks of the Thames are clay soil, unlike our samples, so we can rule that out. The nearest mines are 12 miles away, so I would rule that out also. I would therefore conclude your last theory to be nearer the mark.
A trench?
A pit. Watson, bring me your register of the London hospitals.
Studying the scalpel has given you an idea, then?
Indeed.
I'll get it.
Okay. I'm a little cold, so I'm gonna turn my heat back on. I'm gonna get comfortable. Okay. The floor is shiny.
Female anatomy.
Oh, no, we don't want to hear about that again.
Hospitals and dispensaries in London. I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
I have found my book, Holmes.
Good. Put it on the work table, will you?
Here is the section showing Whitechapel. I made several notations on these pages during our investigation into the Ripper, which might prove useful. All we need to do is to find a hospital or a public dispensary near a location where pits have been dug and black granite has been used.
It's simplicity itself. I haven't finished my analysis.
Make the right deductions based on the facts you have. Okay? The rope is worn only on one side. The rope was manufactured with a worn side. The rope was always used from the same side. The rope was used near water and has rotted. The rope was always used from the same side. The damp earth brought in by the Bishop of Knightsbridge's killers. The soil is from a pit. The soil is from a well. The soil is from a riverbank. The soil is from a pit. Rope used for tying up boats. Rope is used in a well. The rope is used to lower something into a pit. The fragment of granite, painted black. This fragment comes from a monument painted black. This fragment is from a painted rock. This fragment comes from a granite wall painted black. This fragment comes from a monument painted black. The earth and the fragment of granite come from a building. The earth and the stone are from a pit near a monument. The earth and the fragment of granite come from a cave. The earth and the stone are from a pit near a monument. The earth and the rope and the fragment of granite come from a grave. The earth and the rope and the fragment of granite come from a building undergoing repairs. The earth, the rope, and the fragment of granite come from a tombstone factory. The earth, the rope, and the fragment of granite come from a grave. The Whitechapel Clinic is near a tombstone factory. The Whitechapel Clinic is near a construction site. The Whitechapel Clinic is near a grave. The Whitechapel Clinic is near a grave.
Now I can make the right decision.
Okay, so we need the correct option. Dispensary 4660 near a memorial. Whitechapel. Dispensary 4661 near the Whitechapel Cemetery. Dispensary 4662 near a tombstone factory in Whitechapel. Dispensary 4663 near a large repair site in Whitechapel. Dispensary 4664 near the Whitechapel's granite quarry. Dispensary 4665 near the Whitechapel warehouses. It's going to be this one, Dispensary 4661 near the Whitechapel Cemetery.
The public dispensary number 4661. It's just opposite the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
Yes, Watson. The murderer with the missing finger must work in the cemetery, or at least visit it. He could have taken a rope, one of the type they use to lower the coffins into the graves. The granite is minute particles of tombstone.
And he only had to cross the road to steal a scalpel from the dispensary opposite.
I need something.
Okay, so now, to analyze the evidence, add liquid from the test tube, use all active ingredients. Use all active agents to work out all of its characteristics. This puzzle is a lot easier than it looks. All you gotta do is test out all of these chemicals and whatever appears in here, and how many times you note here. Okay, so first we're going to put in there. Okay. So so 2 green, 1 of these. So 2, 1, and 1. Alright, and if it turns green, you got it right. Okay, this one, 3 and 2. So 3 and 2. 3 and 2. Now the yellow. 2 green, 1 blue. And then this red one. 3 brown, 3 green. Alright.
Poison, and apparently very virulent.
Alright. Results of the analysis of the poison administered to the Bishop of Knightsbridge, a substance that provokes a heightened aggression close to madness, death by cardiac arrest.
Poison. Discreet, efficient, and only detectable via a thorough post-mortem.
Have you been able to isolate the active components, Holmes?
Not with any certainty. This toxic substance surpasses my own knowledge in the field. It is without doubt the work of an expert chemist.
A chemist and a criminal.
As you say, please find my monograph on poisoners of the last 30 years.
Okay. Whoa, what's this? Oh, the Marquess fake necklace. The Daily Report. At the moment of writing these lines, the famous Samoan necklace belonging to the Marquess of Cunningham has still not been recovered. Our editorial staff remain reserved as to the role that the famous detective Sherlock Holmes has played in the affair, for this is not the first time that Mr. Holmes has compromised himself during the course of one of his so-called investigations. When recalling the second stain case, the affair is indeed strangely similar to the Marquess of Cunningham's necklace misfortune. Indeed, Mr. Trelawney, Hope, Secretary of State for European Affairs, had a document of extreme value in his safe box, which had been stolen but a few days earlier. Who, if not Sherlock Holmes, could have replaced the document in Mr. Hope's safe? What was the point of the trick? It was evident that Sherlock Holmes knew the identity of the person blackmailing the gentleman's wife, Lady Hilda Trelawney Hope, guilty of a love affair with another man. The sinister blackmailer, a certain Lucas, had a letter that revealed Lady Trelawney Hope's double life. He wanted the Secretary of State's wife to give him the precious document belonging to her husband in exchange for the love letter. She obeyed him. But then Lucas was found murdered, and Mr. Holmes managed to find the compromising letter without any difficulty on the crime scene, after it had been meticulously searched by the police. Does that not strike you as strange? Mr. Holmes knew where the hiding place was without any doubt. As to the motive for the murder, no need to ask who might profit from the crime, eradicate a cumbersome accomplice, and thus appear as a hero in the eyes of the authorities. Evidently, the transaction of the affair, undertaken by Mr. Holmes's friend Dr. Watson, gives another explanation entirely. But is he truly objective? We may allow ourselves a little doubt on that score. Oh, Farley.
Read the paper, Holmes.
I think I missed that the first time I played this. He told us... What did he tell us to get?
The work
No.
Later, Watson, later.
Okay, alright. What did he tell us to get? That's not what I wanted. Find my monograph on poisoners of the last 30 years. Monograph. Oh. Source, Scotland Yard, Hans Schielmann, aka Rat Killer, nationality German, date and place of birth, January 20th, 1839 in Stuttgart. Am I right about that? I'd have to be right about that. Arrested May 5th, 1888 in London, where imprisoned, London, sentenced life. Found guilty of the following charges: poisoning, attempted poisoning, theft of receiving chemical substances, murder and attempted murder, kidnapping with aggravated circumstances, cruelty to animals, hit and run, illegal use of chemicals, manipulation of the weak, drunk in charge. History and description of the individual. Despite numerous mental problems and neurosis, Hans Schielmann is an exceptional chemist and an equally remarkable mathematician. At the age of 21, his unstable and violent character resulted in his expulsion from the University of Vienna, where he had excelled in his chosen subjects. After being expelled, he was not heard of again for 4 years. He was captured and arrested in June 1864 during the case North Degrees X2552A, the Stuttgart poisoning, in which he was the principal suspect. He escaped before being sentenced and vanished again. A number of elements suggested he had found refuge in London. An investigation undertaken by Scotland Yard found him living under the stolen identity of one Leonardo Itizia. However, the officers who came to arrest him were poisoned and he escaped once again. Our informers picked up his trail again in 1880 at an ancient factory converted into a clandestine chemical laboratory. Schielmann was absent during the search. From the documents found inside the laboratory, we learned he had a diabolical plan in mind. His goal was to poison the drinking water reservoirs in several parts of the city. To this day, his motives remain unclear. His arrest on May 5th, 1888, was due entirely to chance. He was recognized by a police officer while stumbling around in a state of inebriation, shouting of his intention to poison the entire city. None of the interrogations following his arrest have provided any conclusive information. Hans Schielmann broke his silence only with incoherent comments. Okay, you got it.
According to these documents, Hans Schielmann, known as the Rat Killer, was considered the greatest specialist in chemical poison in the world.
Is he at liberty?
Happily, no. He has been held in the high-security wing of London's Westgate prison for many years now.
Then he cannot be the one who concocted the poison.
Don't dismiss him too quickly, Watson. According to Scotland Yard, the man is exceptionally intelligent. For the greatest criminals, prison is but a mere obstacle. Let's plan a little visit to see Mr. Schielmann tomorrow.
Okay. Does that mean we're going there? No? What are we doing? Okay. What's next?
Let us look at our deduction board, Watson.
Thanks. Okay. The bishop nodded himself. Finger. The bishop tore his aggressor's finger off with his teeth. The bishop wanted to kill himself. The bishop fought his aggressor savagely. The bishop went mad. The bishop went mad. Flask. The broken flask has some blood at its top. The murderers made the bishop drink blood. The murderers made the bishop drink the contents of the flask. The murderers tortured the bishop with a broken glass. The murderers made the bishop drink the contents of the flask. Poison. The flask contains a poison that causes madness. The murderers had a poison that causes madness. The bishop's murderers are lunatics. The bishop's murderers are vampires. The murderers had a poison that causes madness.
Perfect. Well done, Watson. Our board is finished. It confirms that the bishop's murderers work for one person, who, amongst other things, possesses a very sophisticated poison. They therefore act for someone more educated than themselves. You remember
Yay.
Wiggins and his gang, the Baker Street irregulars?
Yes, the street urchins, whom you employ upon occasion, and Wiggins is their leader.
Yes. Well, I have hired their services again. I have instructed them to find out the address of the bishop's nephew.
I think he's here.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, my young friend, have you found the information for which the good Dr. Watson is going to pay you?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, it was easy.
Very well, I understand. Here are a few pennies.
Thanks, Dr. Watson. The man you're looking for lives near Kensington.
Does he live alone?
Yes, but he rents a room for an old lady.
Did she see you?
No, Mr. Holmes, no one saw me.
Perfect. Watson, give our young friend another shilling as a reward for his discretion.
Here we go again. But of course,
You're the one
I'm
with the
falling
job,
asleep,
Watson.
Holmes. Aren't you tired?
No, I have an exceptional constitution. I can't remember ever having been fatigued by work. Idleness, on the other hand, exhausts me completely. Go to bed, Watson. The night will be short. We leave at dawn.
Wow, this is a real adventure. It's exciting. I like it better than made-up stories. I want to know what happens next. Keep reading.
No real life
I'm
kid would be
going
this
to.
engrossed in this story.
Ah, I want to listen to.
My readers must excuse me if I do not describe in full detail here the terrible images which haunted me that night.
I had a sense that something extraordinary would take place, but I was scarcely prepared for the reality of it. Good morning, Holmes. Did you get any rest?
I did not attempt to sleep.
Have you managed to come to any conclusions?
I think that we might follow 3 trails. We can visit Whitechapel to try to discover the identity of the murderers by making inquiries at Dispensary 4661 and at the Whitechapel Street Cemetery.
The poison trail seems more important to me. We should perhaps go to Westgate Prison first to see Hans Schielmann.
Yes, and let us not forget the bishop's irascible nephew, whose address we now have, thanks to my Baker Street irregulars. I have located each place on our map of London.
Holmes, let me remind you that we still have not been officially instructed to investigate this affair.
Ah, well, we will just have to hide that small detail.
Okay. Whitechapel, Kensington Gardens,
Westgate
Jail.
Prison. Here we are at the famous Westgate Prison, one of the oldest and surest in the kingdom.
I've heard that it is soon going to be demolished. Don't you find it strange that it still houses criminals as dangerous as Hans Schielmann?
There's nothing strange about it, Watson. The name of this prison is linked with numerous failed escape attempts. As long as it stands, the criminals will fear it.
Good morning, gentlemen. Are you expected?
No, but we wish to meet with one of your prisoners, Hans Schielmann.
I'm afraid that at the moment that is impossible. Access to the cells is controlled strictly. You can't go there without permission from the director.
Then would you be so good as to announce us? I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson.
The famous Holmes and Watson. What an honour. My name is Brighton. Frank Brighton. I'm afraid I can't announce you. I'm not allowed to leave my post, under any circumstances. But I'm sure that the director won't refuse to see you, even without an appointment. Do you see the corridor behind the reception? Follow it to the secretary's office. You'll find him there.
Thank you, Warden Brighton. One last thing. Hans Schielmann received any visits lately?
None. And I'm sure because I've dealt with receiving visitors for several weeks now. I volunteered because it's a calm post to be in. We don't get many visitors and it gives me time to write. Just like you, Dr. Watson. I enjoy literature and the...
Very good. Thank you.
That was very impolite, Holmes. That man admires our work. You could have given him...
Another time. Let's go and meet the director of the prison.
Like I said, Sherlock isn't a good person. So we're gonna have a look around.
It is about the exit door.
It is. I don't know why.
This is the entrance to the ordinary prisoner's cell. There's no point in going there.
Getting some graphical stuff going on.
Closed. Closed.
Just taking a look around.
Locked. I can feel a draft. This must be the access to the inside yard.
The locker room. This is where the prisoner's things are kept.
Closed.
It says cloakroom. Watson, can't you read? Visitation rules and regulations. Newgate Prison. Is that what it says? Newgate? You are allowed one visit each month from members of your immediate family or other approved visitors. Visiting hours are approximately 1:30 p.m. to 3:10 p.m. weekdays. That's a very short period of time. All personal visits, you will confine your talk to personal matters and refrain from discussing other inmates, institutional matters, etc. Physical contact shall not be allowed. Food and beverages are not permitted. Interviewers and inmates shall remain seated during the visit. Inmates shall not smoke. Visits with your attorney or record may be arranged through the office of the associate warden. Violation of rules and regulations may result in termination of visitation room privileges.
Let us go to the secretary's office. Good morning, miss.
Oh, excuse me, I dropped off. Good morning, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson. We would like to talk to the director.
I'll just go and see if he can receive you.
tiredness, pale face, stiffness, I believe that the young lady is expecting a happy event.
Tiredness,
It
pale
would seem
face,
so.
stiffness? I have all those. And I can assure you I'm not pregnant. That's quite an assumption.
The director's office, Mr. P. Patterson. No need to go in there. This small rack is for urgent letters to be given immediately to the director.
My headphones are starting to bother my ears.
This charming secretary is Miss Jenny Patterson.
Strange. The director and the secretary have the same name.
I'm delighted to meet you, Mr. Holmes. I am Paul Patterson, director of this establishment. You wish to talk to me? I hope this unexpected visit isn't to announce bad news.
No, do not worry. We are investigating an affair of the highest importance, one which could potentially affect the security of the kingdom. Therefore, it is imperative that we interview one of your prisoners, Hans Schielmann.
Hans, the rat killer? He's been in here for a long while now, and he's had no contact with the outside. How could he be involved in such an affair?
That is what we would like to find out.
And you have been commissioned by Scotland Yard?
Evidently.
Sure. That.
Very well. I have complete confidence in you, Mr. Holmes. I will draw up a pass that you should give to Warden James in the guardroom. He will show you to the cells.
Thank you, Director.
Keep me informed of your progress. And if there is anything else, don't hesitate to let me know.
We shall certainly do so.
Miss Patterson, you have the same name as the director. Are you related?
Come, Watson. Anyone who might have made the slightest study of anthropology would have noted the similarities between the young lady and her father.
Mr. Holmes is right, I am his daughter, but he doesn't like to talk about it. I think he's afraid of being accused of favoritism.
I'm sure it was your qualities alone which secured you this position, miss.
If you must try out your powers of seduction, then what do you say about using them on the rat killer?
What? Watson's married. What are you even talking about?
Oh, goodbye, miss.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
I do not understand. Okay. Anything else we can look at?
Hot tea.
Hot tea. Nice lemons. That quote is something Sherlock says in Sherlock Holmes, The Awakened. That is also on my channel. Like, check that out.
Closed. Staff cloakroom. Closed. Closed. Closed.
Sorry, but this area is prohibited without a pass. Please leave.
I have a pass, though.
Ah, you've got a pass for the high security area. It's the door at the end. Go ahead.
Thanks.
It is potassium nitrate, isn't it?
Yes. Saltpeter or whatever.
It is about the signing in book.
My name is Peter James, Chief Warden, and this is Deputy Warden O'Sullivan.
I imagine I will find Hans Schielmann behind these bars in the basement.
Yes, the high security cells are down there.
Is this the only access?
Yes, there was a second door at the end of the main hall, but it's been blocked up as a security measure.
Thank you, Chief Warden.
At your service. If you require further information, Warden Mackenzie will help you. He's at his post in the basement.
Mr. Holmes, I am a huge admirer of yours. I have followed all your cases and successes with the greatest interest.
What enthusiasm. Have you ever thought of a career in the police force?
Have I thought about it? It's my dream. And I'm going to try my chance once this establishment closes down. I'm studying hard for the examination to get into police school.
Tell me about the prisoners, Warden James.
We only have a few. As you might be aware, the days of this place are numbered. Therefore, we no longer receive new prisoners. Those who are already here are among the most dangerous in London. We have 3 at the moment. Hans the Rat Killer and the Flint Brothers.
The Flint Brothers?
Yes, 2 rather simple-minded maniacs who detest one another despite their relation. They massacred their parents and decapitated their neighbours. It took more than 9 policemen to overpower them.
Nasty.
See you later, Mr. Holmes.
It is the guard's guest book, perhaps for distinguished guests. This device must be the alarm.
Here's the famous high-security area.
Warden Mackenzie, at your service, sir.
Good morning, Warden. I have a pass which allows me to speak with prisoner Hans.
Very well. It is the cell at the end to your left. I'd advise you to walk in the middle of the corridor.
What happens if I don't?
I'm gonna kill my brother. But before that, I'm gonna make him eat his own eyes. Just for a laugh.
Alrighty then. Let's see what his brother has to say about that.
What do you want? You're a friend of my brother, are you? That dirty rat. I'm going to have his guts for garters.
Alrighty. That's the guy we want to talk to.
Hans Schielmann, I require some information from you.
So, who do we have here? The celebrated Sherlock Holmes himself. Do you know that for all the time I have spent rotting in here, you are my first and only visitor? I think this is cause for celebration. A confrontation between 2 geniuses, 2 extraordinary minds.
I am afraid that you are not quite as great a chemist as you believe you are, Mr. Schielmann. I will not say that you never were. No, it was certainly true once. But you see, while you are whiling away your days in here, it appears that someone on the outside is at the point of surpassing you, if that is not already the case.
Yes, I heard about that. A chemical poison that eats away at the flesh and provokes hysteria. I recognize talent when I see it, but it's only a matter of time before I win back my laurels, believe me.
What can you tell me?
That depends on what you can bring to me.
What do you want?
Do you know why I am treated so harshly? For my meals, I am given nothing but a hunk of bread. And even then, not just any sort.
Get to the point.
Never interrupt me! Where was I? Oh yes, the bread. Did you know that with a little rye yeast, a pinch of moss, certain cockroach secretions, just enough light and damp, with a few other ingredients that I will keep quiet about, I succeeded in poisoning half the staff here. Unfortunately, a little something was omitted, which would have made the results fatal. Instead, it merely caused acute attacks of stress and powerful hallucinations. Even so, I got a great laugh out of watching them cry like babies when they saw their most primitive fears materializing before them.
You are a monster, Mr. Schielmann.
Thank you.
It wasn't a compliment.
But of course it was! You others, you ordinary, narrow-minded people, you are afraid of anything that you cannot comprehend. You call me a monster because what you find impossible to face is just the slightest fraction of my genius. If by monster you mean someone who is nothing like you, then it is a compliment.
What do you need?
Very little. Just something to write with. You see, my brain races like an engine with too many thoughts. I see them crackle and explode into thousands of formulae right in front of me. What a torture not to be able to write them down. What a hell to see them vanish just as quickly as they appear to me. Just bring me something that I can write with.
That's all. That seems an easy enough request to fulfill.
But listen, I don't want a vulgar inkwell and a pigeon's feather. No, I need material fit for my talent. I want my ink pen. Bring it to me, and I will be happy to pass on to you a little of my knowledge of modern chemistry.
Where is it?
It was confiscated upon my arrival here. I suppose it might be in my locker, in the locker room. Leave me now, and don't come back without my ink pen. See you soon, Mr. Holmes.
Okay. That's so annoying. Let's see.
Closed.
That's everything. Okay, so now we need to go to the...
Cleaning materials, otherwise known as a broom cupboard. Nothing of interest here.
We need to go to the cloakroom.
Closed.
The locker room. This is where the prisoners' things are kept.
Maybe we need to talk about it to somebody.
I'm glad to have been of service, Mr. Holmes.
Can you tell me where I might find the locker room?
In the corridor that leads to the director's office. That's where the prisoners' civilian stuff is held. But seeing the length of their sentences, they've little chance of ever getting it back.
Can you open the locker room for us? We would like to inspect Shieldman's personal items.
No, Mr. Holmes. I'm not responsible for that. You will find the keys in the secretary's office.
Okay.
See you later, Mr. Holmes.
Closed.
Not there.
Miss, may we borrow the keys to the locker room?
You will need authorization from the director to open that door. If you wait a moment, then I will inform him.
We will wait, thank you.
Anything new, Mr. Holmes? Is your investigation advancing? Mr. Holmes, have you been able to get what you wanted from our lodger?
Not yet. We must first cast light upon a crucial point, and for that we require your help again.
What can I do?
We need to examine Shieldman's civilian clothing.
Very well, but be extremely careful.
What do you mean?
In that madman's compartment, you will find a strange little coded case which refused point blank to open when he was incarcerated. We did try to force it, but without success.
Didn't you ask the experts?
Of course we did. Experts from Scotland Yard came to examine it, where they came to the conclusion that it was better that the case remained shut than tamper with it too much.
I see. They were afraid that some poison or other might escape if it was opened.
Exactly. Bear in mind that this man is an evil genius, a master poisoner, and that his poisons are never ordinary. Here's the key to the locker room. I give you the authorization to open it.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Miss Patterson, the guards are still waiting for you to put up the duty list. Do it as soon as possible. Without it, the changing of the guard cannot take place. Or had you forgotten?
Dry your tears, miss. I'm certain that your father didn't mean to hurt you.
Mr. Watson, I can't put up the duty list. And when he finds out, he'll be furious.
Why can't you?
It's in my locker, in the cloakroom, and I've lost the key.
Your aunt.
Say no more, Holmes. As you keep repeating, time is against us. Let's go and look at the things in the rat killer's locker.
I don't know what that was. We have the key to this place.
Here is the locker of our friend, Hans, the mad scientist.
Oh, what a jumble.
A paper knife. Blotting paper. This solid box must hold a precious object. Let us see.
Okay. As soon as the catastrophe came to be known, the alarm from mouth to mouth was blown, and the cry rang out all over the town, "Good heavens, the Tay Bridge is blown down," and a passenger train from Edinburgh, which filled all the people's hearts with sorrow and made them for to turn pale. Because none of the passengers were saved to tell the tale how the disaster happened on the last Sabbath day of 1879, which will be remembered for a very long time. William Topaz McGonagall.
A poem in Hans's handwriting. There is something interesting here. 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 Nothing of interest here. Nothing of interest here.
Okay.
This cannot be a simple coincidence. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Right. Alright, so HCABRS.
Perfect.
What is written on that note, Holmes?
Later, Watson, later. We can give Hans his pen.
Is that another thing that Sherlock is hiding from us? The letter. Can we get
closed?
We can't. Okay.
What a bunch of incompetents. Oh, if I was as unprofessional as that, there would be murderers running all over the town.
What's the matter? Are you a patient of Dr. Watson?
Very amusing.
I was going on about the dry cleaners in Westgate Street. They've just delivered my ceremonial uniform in the middle of my duty, when I've told them 1,000 times not to bring it until after 6 in the evening.
A ceremonial uniform? You've been promoted?
No, and that's not about to happen. No, I've been invited to a wedding. I mean, I hope to be. I'm in trouble. If the director sees that I've left my post, I'll be sacked without pay.
Give it to me, Warden Brighton. I'll take care of it for you.
Really? Thanks a lot. Here's the key to the cloakroom and that of my locker. I'm really grateful, Mr. Holmes.
Perfect.
What have you got in mind, Holmes? You're not doing this out of kindness, are you?
No, out of curiosity. We will be able to access the cloakroom with these keys.
Good night, Julia. Thanks for joining us. Alright. That's not the one. This is the one.
Here is Brighton's locker. Bicarbonate of soda. Brighton must have an upset stomach, caused by stress without a doubt. The name on the key is Jenny Patterson. That is interesting.
Why does he have that key?
I need something.
Weird.
Bicarbonate of...
Okay, I don't know why I didn't register it the first time.
Miss Patterson's locker. Let us examine Miss Patterson's locker. The lock on this box is rather sophisticated.
Incredible. Is Jenny hiding something?
Okay, this one was in... This same puzzle was in Sherlock Holmes, The Hound of the Baskervilles. If you remember. It's the first time I ever did a puzzle like this. Okay, first of all, we have to connect the colors. See how green needs to connect with green and red needs to connect with red, and none of them connect. So we need to move them to where they will connect, and these spaces are blank. So what we want to do is figure out where these ones go, because those ones have the least amount of options. Like, this one can't go there because we need one below it and one to the side. That could go there. We could do something like that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Where would this one go? I can't go there. Can't go there. Huh. Could go there. Hungry. Ooh.
It's really very clever. Little Jenny is astonishing.
Jenny Patterson, Frank Brighton, a single heart with two souls and eternal love. So they are in love.
A locket, sealing the relation between Jenny and Warden Brighton. Decidedly, this boy is not a great poet.
My Jenny, let's get married. Never mind the consequences. Your father will have to accept the fact that we are in love. Think about the baby and don't forget that. I love you, 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 and I've written you a poem. Jenny Patterson, your heart pounds, mine weighs a ton. Our love has no bounds, it just goes on and on. I was inspired by the great Chinese poets to write it. Be courageous, my honey bun. Your Frankie. Ugh. Gross.
A letter from Brighton to Jenny. Barely literate.
Apparently, Jenny is carrying Brighton's child, and it seems that Jenny's father, the director, is unaware of this.
Service sheet, base guard, Warden O'Sullivan, reception Warden Brighton, on call in the guards room, Warden Mackenzie, coordination, Chief Warden James.
Here is the famous guard duty list. Interesting. We have found the guard duty cards, miss. If you like, I can go and discreetly give them to the guards.
Oh, thank you. You've got me out of a lot of trouble, Mr. Holmes.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes, you can't go into the basement for the moment.
For what reason?
The door has locked itself automatically. You must enter a new security code.
Do it, then.
Miss Patterson hasn't put up the guard duty list yet. Without that information, we don't know who's authorised to take note of the new code.
So Mackenzie is locked in the high security zone.
Yes, but don't worry about him. He's trained for this sort of dysfunction.
Why not ask the director to take note of the code and open the door?
He isn't allowed to, and I doubt that he would run the risk of going against the orders of the administration centre. Anyway, the bars in the high security section are joined to the alarm system, which is in that room. We only need to sound it to unblock, but you see we can't do that now.
We'll try to find the duty list, Warden James.
We have it.
We have found Chief Warden James's duty list.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Let's see. O'Sullivan, it's you who takes over from Mackenzie. Take note of the code, please, and unblock the door.
At once, Chief. Ah, Mr. Holmes, could I ask you for a favour?
Please do.
I think I can say on behalf of all the staff that we would be honoured if you would care to write something in our guest book.
With pleasure, O'Sullivan.
Are we using his pen? Hopefully that doesn't start something.
You seem worn out, O'Sullivan. A good night's sleep would do you good.
A good night's sleep would do me good. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Is something worrying you?
As you know, Westgate Prison will soon be demolished.
And
I'm spending most of my night studying for my exam to join the police. You understand, I have to think about my future.
About this game.
So sleep isn't a priority at the moment.
Scotland Yard is always looking for young, competent and motivated men. Would a letter of recommendation from me allow you to get some sleep?
What? A letter from Mr. Sherlock Holmes recommending me for Scotland Yard? Are you quite serious?
Completely serious, my young friend. May I use this writing paper? The one on your desk.
1,000 thanks, Mr. Holmes. 1,000 thanks.
What's gonna happen?
It is addressed to Inspector Baines, a good friend of mine. There's no need to remind you that it must be opened only by the person to whom it is addressed.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
shady
of course.
too. What's going on?
I'll give it to him personally. Thank you again, Mr. Holmes.
Sounds weird.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I didn't notice that the first time.
The guards must spend long hours here.
Playing cards. And dominoes. Awesome. Why are you in my way? Anything else here? Oh, okay.
These weapons are obviously ready to use in case of emergency.
Give this guy's pen.
Well,
You have what you wanted, your precious pen.
you seem annoyed, Mr. Holmes. I would even go so far as to say terribly worried.
Why should you care, Mr. Shielman? Let's talk about that poison.
I am not talking about you in the grip of natural emotions found in ordinary people who are confronted by the inexplicable. But as for Mr. Holmes, you are embarrassed, aren't you? Are you hiding something?
That is enough, Shielman.
You have kept your word. Therefore, I will keep mine. At this moment, the poison which so interests you isn't finished yet. Its maker is encountering great difficulties in attaining the desired results.
What is the end result?
Now, Mr. Holmes, the end result of any science, as Descartes once said, to become the master and owner of nature. Here we are talking about human nature, of course. And the creator's problem isn't so much the mixture as the durability of his creation.
What do you mean?
You see, this poison was made using rare but very volatile short-living compounds, which means that it is only possible to produce small quantities, which most importantly do not keep for a long time. Conceiving such a product in a laboratory especially built for the purpose could be achieved by any good chemist. But recopying this alchemy on another scale and keeping it ready at any moment, observing the particular conservation and storing conditions that a substance of this type requires, well, that would need a genius. I doubt if the creator of this mixture would be capable.
And you would be, of course.
Of course.
Luckily, you are going to spend the rest of your life in prison.
Luck is cyclical. It always comes around again, sooner or later. As far as I am concerned, I have the feeling that the cycle is going to be very short.
Holmes, it sounds to me as though this Shielman is implying that an escape attempt will be made.
Yes, we must go and warn the director.
Let's go warn the director.
It is out of the question that your bastard is named Patterson. Very well. You refuse to reveal the father to me? Well, then go and join him. I'm not stopping you.
I can't.
Director, you will have to postpone this small family reunion. We believe that a serious scheme is afoot. We must act without delay.
You're not thinking of...
Yes. Shielman's words leave no room for doubt. It seems that he is planning an escape attempt. We strongly advise you to search his cell.
Do you really believe that he's hiding something? Because I must make an official report and have a legitimate reason for doing a search.
Director, if this prison is still in operation, it is solely because of its reputation. Think of the consequences of an escape. It would be closed at once. And what post do you imagine would be offered to the person deemed responsible?
You're right. No one will escape from Westgate under Patterson. I will order an immediate search of Mr. Shielman's cell.
Chief Warden James reporting. The search of prisoner Hans Shielman's cell has been carried out. No suspicious items were found.
Thank you, Chief James. I feel better now. Without wishing to offend you, Mr. Holmes, I am glad that you were mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken, we've nothing more to do here. Shall we go, Holmes?
There's just one more thing for me to see, Watson.
What's that?
Mr. Holmes, sorry to interrupt you, but Miss Jenny wishes to see you alone. She's waiting for you in her office.
This, Watson.
How did you know?
Wait for me in the guard's room. I won't be long.
What's going on?
What an extraordinary gentleman that Sherlock Holmes is. You must have had lots of adventures with him.
Oh, yes, dozens.
Thought he was infallible. But there wasn't anything out of the way in the rat killer's cell. Could he have been mistaken?
I must admit...
Warden Brighton, in my office immediately. That's an order.
The director seems furious.
Yes. It must be important for him to order Brighton to leave his post.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Did you hear that?
Yes, that's not normal. I've never heard Flint shout like that.
But why doesn't O'Sullivan sound the alarm?
Follow me, Mackenzie. Let's go and have a look.
I'll come with you.
No, Dr. Watson, you're not allowed in. Wait for me here.
But he's
Very
a
well.
doctor.
Hey, but the grill is blocked, Chief.
We've been locked in. And that smoke, it's coming from below. O'Sullivan, can you hear us?
Sully, are you alive? Answer us, Sully.
What's going on? Can I help you?
Sound the alarm in the guard's room. That should unblock the door. Be quick. O'Sullivan might be in danger.
Alright. So this is the alarm.
It doesn't work.
Do we need something for it? Oh, I got stuck on here before.
It doesn't work.
I forget what I missed.
It doesn't work.
I've missed something. I forget what it was.
It doesn't work.
I got stuck once. I got stuck last time I did this.
Locked. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I'm gonna try all this stuff. I forget what happened.
It doesn't work.
Oh wait, I think I have to trigger something first. I think I have to need to go to the other side or something.
O'Sullivan, can you hear me? O'Sullivan, answer me.
Yes, I'm here. Quick, get me out of here. The Flints have escaped, and they are fighting like dogs. Help!
That is not.
It's a catastrophe.
That is not O'Sullivan.
Yes, I'm here.
That is not O'Sullivan. That is clearly. That's clearly Shielman. I'm not buying it.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I forget how to trigger it. I forget what I need.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Am I stupid?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
What am I supposed to do? I got stuck on this last time I did this
Locked.
too.
Hey, what are you waiting for to sound the alarm, Doctor?
It's impossible. It's
Oh,
been damaged. I'll run and warn the director.
Stupid.
No, Doctor, our priority is to save O'Sullivan. Go ahead through the visitors' corridor and see if he answers your call.
I already did that.
Very well.
Take the keys, they're in our room.
Okay. Alright, so it's supposed to be damaged, unable. Jeez.
It doesn't work.
Useless. This door is blocked by the timer, but not the one below. Give me the keys, quickly.
Oh my god. That's so... No!
I've got the keys, Doctor. Thank you.
That's clearly
Follow
not
me, Watson.
Sullivan.
We must repair the alarm.
Finally! There you are, Holmes.
And we missed a whole conversation.
I'm going to turn on the system. Watson, you make sure of the contact.
I hope that this isn't dangerous.
Okay, so we need to... Oops. Shit. Shoot. There we go.
It works.
Perfect.
It's open. Let's go down.
Be careful. From what your colleague said, the flints are out.
We are trained for this sort of situation. And we're armed.
Come and help us, Watson.
Everything is back to normal. Thank you for your help, gentlemen.
It was a pleasure.
But where is O'Sullivan?
He's no longer here. He must have gone out for the visitor's entrance.
Yes, and he must be pleased to have gotten out of the basement.
Good. We must now check all the cells. It's the procedure in case of an alarm.
We'll come and help you.
You are evidently fond of wasting time, my dear fellow. Rejoin me at the reception when you've finished.
The grate is open. This is alarming. He's fine where he is, under the cover, still.
How can he sleep with all this noise?
I'll admit it's not normal. Perhaps the smoke has poisoned him. I had better take a look.
Be careful, Doctor. He is dangerous.
O'Sullivan!
It's impossible. He was with us only a few moments ago.
Told you it wasn't him.
Or else...
Or else it wasn't O'Sullivan.
My God, he's escaped. The rat killer has escaped.
I must warn Holmes.
Yeah.
Holmes, there you are.
Clicked on the door.
Hans has escaped. I fear that this inquiry is a bitter defeat for us.
Not at all, my dear fellow. Quite the contrary. Follow me.
Why the devil have you brought me behind the prison?
We have an appointment, Watson.
And this is where I left off, so I have no idea how to proceed. But I think we're going to end it there for the night. It just auto-saved. Didn't it? Today's the 16th, right? Oh, I think today's Emma Watson's birthday. Unless that was yesterday. Alright. Good. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a comment down below on the video after the fact. And please leave a like on the stream, even if you're watching it now and it's not live. Please leave a like or leave a like on the video. It really helps, tells YouTube that you like it, and YouTube is more likely to share it with other people so I can get more viewers. And if you'd like more content like this, please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be notified the next time I upload and the next time I go live. I go live every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursdays I stream The Sims, and Friday I stream adventure games like tonight. And on Saturdays I stream my Storytime Saturdays where I read books and I discuss them, and we're currently reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So I will be live tomorrow reading chapters 4 and 5. Join us for that. And follow me on Twitter. I give out information about my streams and when they're going to be on, or if they're canceled or whatever. That is link in the description. And I believe that is it. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a magical evening. Bye bye.